Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve. We're back in Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the Second Sin. And this is actually the first video in a while where I'm playing online. I tend to forget to do that or talk about it, but you can play online with, since the mod is made with DS2 Lighting Engine, Dark Souls 2 doesn't even know that any of this is happening. So you can just play completely online, and that's probably my favorite part. I'm not like a huge online player. Ooh, check out this grass. Okay, I was gonna show you Aldia's key. Oh God, yeah, I really hate this grass over here. I screwed up on this hill, but this is actually a good opportunity to show some of the cool features you have in Dark Souls 2 Lighting Engine. We're gonna show Aldia's Keep because that's the big thing I did in the newest 1.47 update for the Second Sin mod, which you can download where you get all your podcasts, I think. Yeah, I don't really like that grass. So basically I'm going through, this has been a process over time of going through and getting rid of the grass that I don't like, that I placed a long time ago. And, you know, some of it just looks like shit. And I think this is one of them where this was just like a really old placement of grass that I hate. But thankfully for the grass placement system that's in Dark Souls 2 Lighting Engine, you can actually switch it over to erase. And then you can just like erase the material, because that's a lot quicker than picking each individual like thing of grass. I think the reason I covered it with grass is because it was really low poly, and so the grass kind of covered it up. But to be honest, I don't think it looked good, and I didn't notice it until exactly right now. I also think the density of the other grass I have is too high currently, so I will be going through piece by piece, and then deleting occasional grass to give it more of a natural feel. I'm going to do that today probably, but that's not part of the 1.47 update, of course. The biggest thing is on the inside of Aldia's Keep, because it needed some work, you know, and also in my last Dark Souls 2 video, I was going over the Dark Souls 2 beta footage, and that was one of the areas that they showed in that IGN interview with Yui Tanamura. And so let's enter here. And so I was definitely inspired by the way that they had it look back then before it came out. And as we know, there was a pretty huge graphical drop-off. Also, don't mind the atmosphere shift here. And I believe they called it the Mansion of the Dragons, or Mansion of Dragons at that point. They hadn't called it Aldia. Or Aldia's Keep yet. I think that was certainly, because they hadn't done Scholar, they hadn't, so like, certainly easier. So let's just take a look here. The first thing I did is I did alter the textures for the dragon skeleton to make it a little bit more white, a little more based. Is that like its base color? Also a based skeleton as well. Because it was a little bit darker, so I kind of set it a little bit closer to the color that you see in the beta footage. Now this floor, yeah, I'm sure the keen observers, or not even non-keen observers, would be like, that floor looks different. Yes, so this is actually the first outside asset I have included in the mod at all. And this is actually from a website called Ambient CG. And it actually has all of this free textures or free material work. That a lot of it's based on like photogrammetry, and it's, you know, usable under the Creative Commons license, even commercially, actually. Of course, my project is not commercial, so you know, you could use it anyway. But the reason why I picked out this checkered sort of pattern, because they have a lot of textures on there, but this one from the beta footage, it definitely had more of a checkered look to it. And then I thought these shapes were really interesting looking. And I've edited the texture to make it a little bit more weathered. And then I edited the specular map a little bit, and then the roughness map. And I was kind of adding some more blemishes and imperfections, and then I messed with the height map a little bit, but yeah, so overall a little bit more contrasty in Aldia's Keep. And I was messing around with the light shafts, and then the indirect illumination. And I'm pretty happy with it. I am not happy with the skeleton texture. It unfortunately used, like, that texture has to be stretched, you know, and used on the skeleton. It just doesn't, I don't think it looks good, and I don't think upscaling helped it a lot either. I think it ended up making it just more grainy looking, and I'm just not happy with it. And I haven't been able to make a good roughness map for it that doesn't make it sort of shiny like this. Because bone has a certain shine to it, but it's a very specific shine. And so I'm just not happy with how that looks currently. Ooh. It's an interesting little shadow thing. It's like it's culling the shadow for the area. Okay, well, I gotta look at that. And then I was trying to match the actual direction of the light to see if I can get really close to how it was in the beta footage. The rest of the work here is, you know, the same as far as, you know, material work. You know, textures I've already upscaled, tessellation on meshes, and overall this is darker. It's definitely darker. Ooh, no, I want to go to the back spot that has the those mirrors, because that place looks awesome. It's actually a really good opportunity to show sort of like the overall idea for the mod is obviously to make things darker, essentially bring the dark back to Dark Souls, if that makes sense. Because Dark Souls 2 is definitely intended to be more dark, and the torch mechanic obviously plays into that. And so that's a huge part of, like, basing the area changes on actual, like, beta footage. Because that was prior to the downgrade, where I think instead of having any sort of, like, global illumination or indirect illumination or a good system for that, I think they ended up just going, well, what if the game was bright enough to where you didn't need to do that, except for in, like, the gutter. But here you can see the roughness map on this surface handle the illumination quite well. Ooh, okay, so I think I only woke up this guy. Lately I've been accidentally waking up. Wow, you hoover pretty well, big dog. I don't actually have my HUD on, so I don't... Okay, the bone got in my way. Just so you know, the bone got in my way. Check it out. That bone, I've actually... Annie Zachary. Oh god, I am online. I'm actually getting invaded. Annie Zachary, you are in a FromSoft serve video, so whatever that is worth, frankly. Oh, also, Easter egg for anyone who makes it this far. In my last video, I got a comment by H Bomber Guy. One of the YouTube goats. Presumably most of you know him. He also did the very famous Dark Souls 2 video essay. Oh, Annie Zachary. Okay, Annie Zachary, are you gonna be cool? Nice. Okay. Okay. We have our power stance. No healing, obviously. This does look really sick, though, right? Oh, okay. I was like, does Annie Zachary not lose health? Oh, yeah. Man, the netcode is just terrible. In no way did you hit me with that. I don't even know what my health is, to be honest. Okay, Annie Zachary? Also, I kind of respect that you're one-handing that. You might prefer that moveset, right? That's outrageous. Man, the hitbox on that thing. Well, it's really just the netcode is insane. Yeah, that little dodge forward move is really good. I really should have my username be FromSoftServe, although I think I run out of characters. Ooh, that was a good poke. That was a good poke. Ooh, okay. Netcode's a little goofy, but there you go, Annie Zachary. Also, I respect your fit. That's pretty cool. Ooh, a little aura farming, walk away. Okay, a little run. Ooh, that was cool. A little swipe and then yoink. The joys of playing online. I guess we can go a little bit farther in Aldia's Keep. The main thing is certainly that main room. Yeah, I gotta cut down on this grass. One thing, actually, you know what? really quickly, I'll show you how the grass placement works. I think I've already shown it, but like I think this is a good opportunity because this is way too much grass. Is grass green? Okay, so I think that's this one. We'll see. I have a lot of different grass because you can save brushes of like Shaded Woods grass, and then I have Betwixt grass, Force of the Fallen Giants grass, which actually also gets used in Majula. And then we have Huntsman's Copse grass. So we have all the different types there. So let's do erase. Ah, it is that. That's interesting. Actually, it is kind of narrowing it down to other grass placement that I've done. That actually ends up working out pretty perfectly because I really just want to lower the overall amount. I don't want to get rid of all the grass. So it looks like it's getting rid of, because you'll see there is different maps that are loaded currently because this is right after Shaded Woods. So it actually still has Shaded Woods loaded as far as the like detail that you can see from Aldia's Keep, and then I have some certain like LE meshes that are loaded in there. Actually, yeah, this works out really well. But I don't need it to be. I've gotten so much better at grass placement, which is also learning like how to better use this tool. So that's actually really nice. So what it's doing is I think it's getting rid of grass meshes that I had placed for, yeah, you can see out here, it's actually still loading these LE meshes, which these are all that I've placed. So trees, rocks, you can even see the grass out here. And it does cull it at a distance, so you can see the grass is disappearing. So it's only rendering because I'm doing the free cam. So the grass is actually, it gets rid of automatically for performance reasons, which I can't even see it from that distance anyway, which is just good optimization. That's what DS2 Lighting Engine automatically does. Let's see, do I have any more? Might be some back here. Yep, a little bit. And this has been kind of the process for a lot of my areas, is I kind of go back through and I reevaluate what I've done. And I go, ooh, don't like that anymore. And grass placement has been a huge part of that because I went overboard. And that's what I tend to do. I tend to do that when I learn how to do something new. I go, oh my God, that's amazing. And then I go overboard and I no longer like it. And so that's just pretty usual. But let's run inside again. Let's go in here. Whoop, wrong way. Oh yeah, I forgot what I was talking about after I got invaded. Yeah, I got a comment on the last Dark Souls 2 video from H Bomber Guy. The ultimate Dark Souls 2 defender, one of the originals. And that video essay was really cool for me. It definitely articulated my thoughts in a way that at that time I really couldn't, you know, so it was pretty formative, I would say. And also, I just love the other videos. I haven't seen all of H Bomber Guy's videos, but I know the plagiarism one, man, I remember when that got released, and it seemed like the entire internet was like, hey, hold on, we gotta watch this. And it was so good, so good. I just was spellbound by that video. And I can't remember who the main, like, antagonist of that. I don't know why I call it antagonist, but it was James something. James Sunderland? It was something like that. I don't know. Is that the Silent Hill 2 guy? But I think it was some grifter guy that had a YouTube channel. And he would just steal from everybody else. And I was like, what? What a crap bag. Ooh, I think... So here's a funny thing. Here's another draw group related issue, which is not fixable in Lighting Engine. Not that I expected it to be. This would be fixed through map edits, which would then force the mod to be offline. So hence why I don't do it. So you can see this cart. And interestingly, only the cart. The cart loads in. There's another one in Things Betwixt that's actually really hilarious. Also, I was when I was watching the beta footage, I noticed that the floor in here specifically, it almost looked like dried blood. So I kind of tried to mess around with this texture to give it a little bit of a bloody look, because clearly there are experiments being run here, and things go wrong with all the beasts that are locked up, you know? Okay, actually I'm power stancing. What am I doing? I never noticed, actually, the back of the paintings are really weird. That's a weird texture to put on the back of that. And upscaling did not help it much. It became a little grainy, so I gotta look at that again. Another thing is this floor surface, I think, is very not responsive to... Oh, sorry for the flashbang there. That was a bit much. I still am planning on my first, like, modding stream, where I just mod on stream, and the plan is to not respond to chat a ton. Not like purposely avoiding it, but I just have to be focused on the work, right? And then kind of look at chat and go, oh, okay. And then people can super chat in if they want my attention, like, directly. I think that makes the most sense to me. Oh yeah, I didn't like that one yet. Let's go fight the Forlorn real quick. Now I'm just playing Dark Souls 2, but it's also an excuse to show you how it looks. I've been reworking a lot of the height maps that I had made prior for a lot of the parallax occlusion mapping, and I think I still have it up, actually. No, I don't, but I actually can show you that real quick. Let me search for Blender, and Blender 5.0, the alpha. I think you can use 4.4 as well, but let's load up Blender real quick, because this is actually really cool. Not saying the rest of the video hasn't been cool, but you know what I mean. Okay, Blender 5.0. Admittedly, I'm asking the computer to do a lot. I'm recording, I'm playing the game, I'm rendering all of that, and then also, hey, by the way, let's go do Blender. So let's save, or actually open a recent, don't save. So basically, I was told by Nova Wolf on the Lighting Engine Discord, and then DM'd about it, because I'm an idiot, and I'm bad at Discord. I'm very asocial, I think, or maybe you'd even call it antisocial, but I would say asocial is probably the more accurate term, where I just don't know, I don't hang out in online communities, I'm not in chat rooms, I'm not on Reddit, I'm basically on Twitter, and I tweet out stupid thoughts and mod stuff, and that's kind of it. Like, I don't do a lot beyond that. But what you're looking at here is I made a little plane, and then it's a add-on called Shader Shaper, and it was made by this amazing rendering wizard, where it can take, so basically what we'll do here is, and I'm in the shading tab, this is kind of how it gets set up, and so you're going to create a new material, and then what you can do is go into downloads, and you'll see I have a really stupid ilive.jpg, and then random Hillary Clinton gif, a pride flag, 1,000 downloads. Honestly, my downloads folder is just absolutely anything at all. But let's say we picked, this is actually a Dark Souls 1 texture. And you can actually pull just the DDS file. You don't even have to do just like a PNG or something. So you can actually just pull in the DDS file from this. This is from Undead Asylum, or Northern Undead Asylum. And then you can pull the color into the base color here. And then I tend to just move the roughness down. And you can see we have the texture. The other thing I did, basically this little plane that we have floating here, you subdivide it. So that's why you'll see all these little, you subdivide. You don't have to do it as much as I did, but that's something that Shader Shaper seems to like. I was not subdividing first, and I wasn't getting good results. So basically, you have the texture loaded, and then you can see over here you have your Shader Shaper add-on, because of course I installed that. and you can then have different AI models. So these are not generative in that sense. They're not like generating a texture. It is based on this texture, and it's trying to read the data from the texture to make a height map. That's essentially, and a normal map, but I commonly use the height map from it and not the normal map always. It depends. I tend to keep the normal maps that FromSoft made for Dark Souls 2 because I actually think they're quite good. And, you know, so there's this free model that is commercially usable. Of course, I'm not doing anything commercial, but I'm using this model. You can download other ones too. And then, ironically, you actually set it to the low quality to sometimes get better results. And it actually uses this enhanced. And then here's a better description if you would like that. It can basically do some cool shenanigans and then create a displacement map as well, or height map. And then you have all these settings. So these I'm not going to change because you can actually change them live. So here's the texture, and then we hit generate, which my computer is hating me. Recording, playing the game in the background, and doing full Blender plus absolutely raw dogging the GPU because this runs on the CUDA cores. Oh god, I forgot to drink my coffee for a while, and now it's like cold. Ugh. It's doing a little bit of shader comp. And then it should spit out an actual image. So here is the height map. Man, this is a good result. So this is the actual height map that comes out of it. And so you can see from the flat texture, it ended up making a fantastic height map. And they actually let you see it too, because you can basically click on the displacement material. And here you can see that is the height map that will be popped out. And of course from here you could actually change the scale of the displacement. You can move these around a little bit. And then here, you can tweak like the normal height. So do we want to crank up the normal instead of like 1.0, or you could go lower. You can see basically it makes the crevice a little bit. I think this is actually a 1K texture. I don't think I had upscaled this. This was an original one before any sort of upscaling. And then we have that. We have flatten distortion, so you can try to like flatten out some of the, which in this case it actually bumps up the height. You can compress the top, so if we lower this down, you can see it lowers the floor, so there's a bit more of a displacement effect. And then the biggest, well, not the biggest thing, but certainly one of them is the normal detail strength. And they actually have, like, when you hover over them, they do have like little descriptors. If you turn that down, it will basically turn off like the little extra detail it's trying to add. I try to keep this in very low, but really that's if you're using the normal map that comes out of it. I'll show you. So here is the normal map it would generate, and then here's the displacement map. So I tend to just use the displacement for a lot of the cases where I don't really want to use a different normal map. This is of course an opportunity where you could use a higher resolution normal map, but with normal maps it's not all about resolution. It's really not. It's really about how they were made, because the best normal maps are actually made with real geometry that they're based on. So essentially in this case, with this stone texture, they would have an actual geometric floor or wall that they actually rendered this, and then they would bake a normal map based on that, and that's your best kind of case scenario. So this instance, I still have not made great normal maps that are better than what are already there. They might be higher resolution, but that really just is not the be-all end-all with normals, and I've learned that the hard way, where I cranked my normals a little too high in my Dark Souls 1 mod, and they just don't look that good. They stand out like a sore thumb, you know, so it's not great. But yeah, basically there's cool things, and then you can hit finish, and then what it's going to do is actually shove them into a folder that you pick, and you can see it basically chucks it out as a normal and then as a displacement map. So you can hit the normal. Oh god, now my computer's like, you're telling me to record, run Blender, run the game, and Photoshop. hilarious, the fact that it still works. So let's load that. Yeah, you can see here's the normal map, and it gives you the red channel, the green channel, which for Dark Souls 2, the red channel here will be moved into the alpha channel, and then the green channel stays there, and then the blue channel is actually the height map, which actually here it does, that is interesting, that it actually has kind of a height map there. Unless that's like junk data. Because here's the actual height map it generated separately. But there is also this one, which could be used as the height map, but I don't think it would give you as good of results because it has some of this fine detail that could trip up the parallax occlusion mapping. If it's too grainy or if there's little detail, it will try to pick up on these little bumps. Of course, you could use, you could try to blur certain things, because for the height maps, I have generally found it very unhelpful to have any sort of grainy detail because it will just freak out and it will try to do bumps everywhere, and it won't look particularly good. And then, oh, I also forgot to say that like under the encoding here, you can either do DirectX or OpenGL, because unfortunately the industry does not agree on the like coordinates for normal maps. But in this case, this runs on DirectX 11, so we are using DirectX 11, or DirectX normals. I guess we can run in here a bit farther. That guy's just chilling. Oh yeah, I forgot to fight the other Forlorn. Okay, hold on, big dog. Let me get my... I'll keep my torch out, actually. Okay, now. Actually, you know what? I won't. And I will parry with my fucking hand. No, I will not. Actually, scratch that. I'll fucking miss. Take a swipe. Take a swipe at me, big dog. Oh, thank God he rolled backward. That was great. Dude, he really tries to close that distance. That's crazy. The greatsword one is not as big of a deal for me. It's the scythe guy. Okay, I was way too early on that. Hey, take a swipe. Take a swipe. Take a swipe. Thank you. Take a swipe. He's going to try to close the distance so fast. No, actually, he did not. Wow, I am just way off on that. I just want to parry him. I know it's stupid, but I want to parry him. Like, it... I think that was a parry. I don't know. I'm not ending the video until I get a parry. You, dude. That's a parry. That's a... Okay, I'm gonna slice you first. Okay, I'm not good at parrying, chat. Clearly. No. Oh, man, that was a wombo combo there. That's crazy. Thank you for that roll that actually let me heal. I bet the iframes on like the hand parries are really bad. Is that going to be my excuse? Probably. Fuck you, I'm going to use a buckler. You're not even ready for this. Okay, actually you're totally ready for this. That was crazy. That was nasty. Oh, I don't have the shield equipped. Yeah, I mean, that'll do it. That'll do it. You don't even know what is headed your way, big dog. Okay, I'll heal again. Don't worry. Gotcha! Dude, I love that they have like that red like particle effect coming off their under their hood. I have the Forlorn set. I don't know, I was gonna say Pursuer set. I have the Forlorn set, but it doesn't give you that like red effect. That would be really that's what's missing. Okay, well, I forgot you were gonna have like a 6-year wind up on that. I hope you guys enjoyed my dog shit gameplay. Also, I'm not using the best weapon at the moment. I also have like 6 characters that I mod on. I mean, really, I'm just playing the game. Like that's my main modding method, is just play the game repeatedly for 1,700 hours. Got you. You know what? I'm gonna switch back to a regular shield. I'm gonna parry you this way. I don't need that buckler. I don't need those extra parry frames. Maybe I do. Maybe I do need them. Don't need them, never needed them. Actually, yeah, okay, actually, let's go do that real quick. Let's go light this torch. Because there's this one. There's not one that way. I remember. I think there's that one, and then there's the one down here. Well, actually, do I have 99 life gems? No, that's on my other character. Pro tip for anyone. Now I'm just playing the game, but don't worry about it. All the initial things were said in the beginning of the video. Now we're just playing. This is what you can expect from a stream, basically. Okay. Let's hit that. Let's hit that. Another greatsword guy. We don't mind that. We don't mind that. Although, actually, I didn't put my torch out. That was rude. I don't know why I like to beat you guys with parrying. I just think parrying's fun. I had redone the height map. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. I had redone the height map on this stone, like, brick floor. I think it looks awesome. I'll admit I kind of just prayed with that parry. I didn't think that was going to work, but it did. Ah, shit, that's my last life jump. Okay, I gotta lock in. Well, I mean, I think I timed that right. The game disagrees, but... Chat, can I do it? Is it possible? Am I strong enough? I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. Actually, turns out I'm always strong enough. I should probably shut the fuck up until I kill him. Parry only run. That would be... God, that would suck. Alright, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Okay. Oh, just barely. You barely got out of that. That's crazy. One day I'll be able to parry the jump attack. May not be today, but... Chat, this is what... Oh, ho, ho, ho. I'm amazing. I clutched up at the last second. You love to see it. Okay, so I did that one. And then, oh, there is one more in the first area. That's true. So let's light that again. And I believe the next one is actually the scythe one. And I suck at fighting the scythe guys. I'm gonna be real with you. I am not good at it. So if I... Hey, nah. I don't think so, big dog. I don't think so. Is he going to try to get back up and hold... Yeah, he said, you know what? I don't get paid enough for that. You know, it's interesting. These, like, statues... I've never paid too much attention to them, but I'm fairly certain they're popping up in different spots. I don't know. I saw one down the hallway a little bit more that I was like, pretty sure you weren't there. There was one, I think, in here too, and I was like, I definitely don't remember that. Like, that's new. Oh yeah, let's go up here. Oh yeah, I missed it. I really love this area. This is actually one of my favorite areas in Dark Souls 2. This baddie, damn, they're so right. Oh, well, okay, he's dead. Yeah, here's the last one. Don't you do it, don't you dare. After this, I gotta eat. I always wake up and then I don't eat anything for like the first 2 hours because I forget. And I'm like... The scythe guys are the worst, just so everyone's clear. The scythe... Actually, you know what? I need the buckler for you. Let's go back to the buckler. Well, I mean, we both kind of... The game gave you that. Oh, shit. Okay, good start. If I had, like, a full power weapon... Well, I mean, it is a plus 10, but it's not a great sword, even fully upgraded, so... Damn, maybe I'm insane. Maybe I'm cracked out of my mind. Guys, I don't think I'm ever going to stop playing Dark Souls 2. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, fuck you. I have your scythe, by the way. but I have to be full hollow to get the max damage, and I think that's actually really cool, but it's also a bitch, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna have it, and then I'm gonna appreciate that I have it. But no fucking way am I gonna do that. 75% health max. Okay, it's the final parry time. It's the final countdown. Yeah, love to see it. I parried my worst enemy better than the fucking greatsword guys. That's crazy. That's crazy. Alright. Well, that was nice. It was a nice little jaunt. Yeah, let's use the feather. Should bring me back to the other bonfire. And then we're gonna warp. Let's go to our little outside campsite shack that does have Lucatiel, I think, at the end of her quest. I don't know how she got in, though. Are there lore implications for that? Does she have the King's Ring? Does she have a duplicate? Like, what's up with that? I mean, I guess she probably just climbed the wall, right? It's not actually that tall, so probably just get a rope, get a ladder. Laddersmith. I bet it was Laddersmith Gilligan. Maybe he gave her a ladder and she carried it all the way out here. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much. I don't know. Let's soak it for the bit rate. This is one of my favorite, like, little Easter egg thingies in Dark Souls 2. It's so cool. It freaks people out so much. Okay, well, look at that. I just blocked it with a little tiny shield. Nice. And you get the Aldia key, and now you can go unlock some extra doors, which I will do after I stop recording this video. Actually, can I hop over here? Dude, that's so cool. That's nice. I thought maybe they'd have like a little tiny collision in between those. I am nicely hollowed. Oh, we ought to talk? Hell yeah. His quests are cool. Instead, he created me. Okay. Oh. Oh, I have my voice turned off. Don't worry about it. That.
No, I don't have anything against humans. But how is it that you go about defining good and evil?
My guy's tired.
I'm only using what the gods gave me.
That's an interesting little shadow culling issue. I hadn't run into that before.
So what say you to a spot of murder on my behalf? If you don't, I'll leave this place and take more lives. I couldn't give a fig.
I'll murder some people, that's fine. I mean, I'll lie to you.
Named Gilligan is the only person who'd have such an odd name.
I love that he just tells you, hey, here's how you can deceive me. It's like, okay, I mean, I'll give you the miniature. Homie literally just has it in his shop inventory. So I do think that's kind of funny, but eh. Ooh, actually, hold on a second. Is there a point light attached to this little force field? Let's check. Ooh, there is. So yeah, I turned on shadow casting. Nice. And then doing it this way through overriding without replacing the point light. Basically, when this force field goes away, the point light will also disappear. So that's how you can sort of keep that in lighting engine without screwing everything up. But the next thing we usually do is then check around and make sure everything else is set to cast shadows, which, as you can see, this was not because I forgot. But now we'll get shadows cast around it. And that should look a little bit better. Really? I hadn't done that as well? That's crazy. Huh. Man, there's a lot. I mean, it's such a big game world for like one person to go through, so I'm gonna miss things, and I just have to go through each area multiple times. Oh, Did get that. Ooh, yeah, what about that? Yeah, that covers the close stuff. Nice. Remove redundant. Take that. I think now, look at that. Now we actually have a shadow being cast by the light that comes off his force field. Is that terribly noticeable? No. Is it worth doing? I think so. I think it ends up looking really cool. I think Aldia's Keep right now looks fucking awesome. Really happy with it. Yeah, like look at this roughness map. So you actually get like responses from point lights. And then each one of these, I believe, is actually shadow casting. I believe I still had that set. Yeah. Look at that. God, it's good quality shadow too. Wow, I recorded for 41 minutes. Also, if you made it this far, I will be recording either later today or right after, who knows. Ooh, look at that roughness map. Yeah, look at that specular response. Oh, that's so nice. That looks great. I got a code for, I applied for a code to Atomfall, which is kind of a game that came and went. I was always interested in it when it got shown off, because it's like a first-person action adventure, not open world, but it's like in London and a bunch of weird stuff is happening and you kind of have to unravel that, and it always looked really cool, and I just never got to play it. So I went into, there's a little platform called lurkit.com. I don't know why it's called that, but you can apply for codes if you qualify with the metrics for your channel and whatnot, and you can do like streaming or just video creation. So I'm gonna make a video on that. I do appreciate anybody who watches those videos because I know they're not my usual, but I will be making more of those because I love video games and I love making videos about them. And for the people who like those videos, they can watch them. For the ones who don't watch them. And thus far, that works pretty well, you know? I think a lot of people worry about, oh, I'm going to clog up my channel with stuff that people don't want to watch. And honestly, like, I'll just gain new people that like watching those that are outside of my normal modding ones. And that's kind of where I'm at. God, I don't like this part of the skeleton. I don't think that looks terribly good. But anyway, thank you for watching. And there'll be a link in the description if you want to download version 1.47 of the Second Sin mod. And yeah, you can check out Aldia. There are other differences. I've updated other areas, modified the grass, did some more armor upscales. So like, there's other stuff that comes with it. But Aldia's Keep was kind of the big marquee thing that I worked on a couple days ago. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.